I'm gonna be playing Prowess today again. Season Pyro over Bedlam Reveler because I'm a Bedlam Reveler hater. I added back the gut shots to this deck because otherwise I had trouble casting Storming Entity. And otherwise I tried the deck to be clean. Yesterday I lost to Caleb Share on Storm, so I immediately had to add those Spell Piercers because I would not be at peace otherwise. You know, mutagenic, gross, protect from bolts, all that usual stuff. Yeah, the elemental is a new card, is a reason to play blue. Sprite Dragon also relatively new, although not as new. Mulligan is because I have no monsters, and no monsters equals bad hand, and we're gonna keep this because it has monsters, and monsters equals good hand. Not sure what do we put back though. Try the gut shot. But it's like, if my opponent plays it on Mana Dork, then of course I'm gonna look silly. Alright, it's gonna be the red-black deck. Prowess? Probably? No, they didn't reveal Lurus. So it's jammed. Taking my Soulscar Mage. That's a little bit scary. So it means I won't have a monster, and means that I won't have pressure if they just kill my Sprite Dragon, which they probably will. Looks like John to me. Unfortunately, Liliana on my Sprite Dragon is gonna be super rough. What? You don't have a removal spell for this? How come? It's awkward to play the Swift Sphere because I might not be able to play my light up, but I'm gonna draw 2 cards. But that seems pretty wild. I mean, it makes sense they took the 1-drop if they didn't have a removal spell. Maybe they have something else, I don't know. Snake blue, alright, rewarded. That's very strong. Bottom and top the lightning bolt, of course. I was scared after that 4th season turn 1, but I think now it's my opponent who needs to be scared. Seal of Fire, right on time. I guess they are playing main deck Lurus. So we let that happen and I'm gonna try to kill my opponent, right? Yeah, just that to bolt, right? Well, not to just bolt, but to bolt in my creatures, probably. Do you prefer the deck over mono-red version? Whenever I played against blue-red, I was losing to Storming Entity, so I think there might be something there. With the Storming Entity being extremely powerful or something. So I think I do prefer that, but I don't have a super strong degree of confidence. I went to Blood Moon Jand. I kinda doubt it. I think I want to Relic Jand. I think in this matchup we can remove some gut shots. The Mutagenic Grove is fine. Lava Dart is good as a Prowess enabler, but that's it. You'll probably get rid of a single dart. I'm not sure what would be the last cut during sideboarding here. Is it a non-Uro deck or the best deck in Modern? It is. Well, this is a Team Uro deck, so you could play Uro, but you chose not to. It's true that Manamorphose is a green card. No issue. No point discussing that. Mishra's Bubble. If I had Mishra's Bubble in my deck, I could cut it, but I don't. How has Sprite Dragon been? I found it pretty bad. I found it to be pretty okay. Pretty good to have 16 threads. I like it. You know, it's demanding of an answer, like every single one, but a little bit more so than the small ones. It is a little bit cumbersome at times, but alright, I'll drink the Mutagenic Grove. Could cut a land on the draw, true, but we have a very low amount of lands. Flash away than ground creatures here, yeah. I could see trimming a Swift Spear. My opponent plays with Dark Confidant for some reason and I will dart it, but I want to play tapped Siemens, I probably won't play the Opt. Unless my opponent shows me something that I would really like to kill. Has anyone cast Opt instant speed ever? You probably have situations where you have Opt and Bolt. Or like, well, this where I have Opt and Dart. My opponent is going to get rid of my Manamorphose now, which is sad times. We can opt to try to Manamorphose again, or just play the dragon with the opt to make sure that we can play the Storming on free. Probably better to do that. 1/1 haste flyer. Modern power level. They're gonna try to use a bolt of any kind. It's worth it to keep, probably. Do you prefer play aggro or control decks? Combo. For example, here a Seasoned Pyromancer is gonna be already castable and all good. Too bad I need to cast the opt, but it's fine. Do I dart the Liliana? Let's scry first. I think I do. I don't think I want burn spells. I think I draw creatures. Well, we would need to discard the dart to the discard effect anyway, so yeah, pretty clear. Alright, drawing a card. Seems like they don't have an easy way to deal with the Storming entity. What's gonna be a Lurus? Okay. Now I feel stupid for not leaving the bolt on top. Face or Lurus? You know, I think I would like to shuffle because I actually would like to draw a dart and a bolt. If I draw a dart, I can kill the Lurus still. I don't have Gutshot anymore in the deck. Mutagenic first. I don't think I want to spend a Mutagenic. I mean, I can not fire the relic, but if I draw a sorcery speed card, like if I draw a bolt, trying to eat their Mishra's Bubble, but pretty decent draw, I agree. Skip the other Mutagenic for the next turn. You can surely splash Uro in this. I already play green cards, right? Pyro is also good because opponent would like to gain life with Lurus, but to do so they need to attack into Seasoned Pyro, which I would gladly trade for Lurus of the Dream Den. And thought a lot about this move. We get to keep the Storming entirety. That means that the Lightning Bolt is lethal now. But we can also not draw. Well, okay. It's not Lightning Bolt, I'll admit, but it's lethal. Should have done Mutagenic on the Pyro, right? Why? Oh yeah, sure. I see, I understand now. That's true. Yeah, because then my opponent can't attack with Lurus. At all. I'll keep this hand because it has 2 mountains and I can't cast anything, and that's the sole way in which I analyze my opening hands. The less spells I can cast, the more likely I am to keep. In actuality, I kept this hand because Light Up is gonna find me blue source. Imagine drawing a perfect mana, it's absolutely fine. Uro deck, Monka S, we have 3 Relic of Progenitors, so we're never going to have to brawl with Uro. Your stream titles give me trust issues kanister. Okay. They had a remand, they remanded that Manamorphose. I mean, my opponent's gonna remand whatever this turn. Question is whether I bolt with this Lightning Bolt. Mana efficiency, because my hand is kinda expensive, I kinda could, but also, and I'm left with mono monsters and no spells, so that's worse too. I have a dart in the graveyard, that'll be mana efficient. It's gonna be at 9 already. Like, nothing has happened yet this game, but we're at 9 already. One, two, three, four, five, six. I can put my opponent down to 2 if I sack a land. I think I might not need the third land. And at 2 my opponent can't shock anymore. Because I give up the land and the like Sprite Dragon potential. But they might be wanting to cryptic taps since next turn, and it's harder for them, they can't shock. And also they won't be able to fetch. I think I'll cast a dart, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Like having lethal alone with Blast Zone. Blast Zone is fine. Wilderness Wreck. Okay. So the Sprite Dragon doesn't... It didn't end up changing much. They play the Sprite Dragon, so they either Blast Zone or not. Cryptic counter tap, okay. This is rough because my opponent played the Reclamation after interacting twice. They cast the Reclamation Charm, no trouble. If they're gonna cast Factor Fictites right now, it's gonna be rough. I just saw Speed Blast sound interesting. I think I'm better off trying to dart them. They can't cast Factoids that easily. They have to have a force in response to the Factoids. Should I down that upkeep? Well, the thing is that they are somewhat incentivized to do a thing in their upkeep. Well, in their main phase. And like I could respond to that too. They ran, okay. They can have a remand for the Lava Dart now. But I think this is the moment where we are going for it, because they're drawing an Archmage's Charm. They have a force, they have a Blast Zone in hand, so they would need to have a force and extra blue card. And next turn we can play the Season Pyre, try to draw towards balls. I mean, the Season Pyre is gonna get countered. Alright, we kill it. Who would have thought that Wilderness Reclamation will be good in Modern? I didn't. I don't think it's all that good. We want relics. Hey, wanted to ask if Blue Red Prowess is the best deck. Why did you play Uro in the preliminary? Because I lied. Are you gonna play under Last Chance? There is only one Last Chance for me to play, and it's the Pioneer one in 3 hours. And I need to get 6 QPs in time. So that depends on that. I think Pyro is losing strat against a Remand deck. Well, they're not gonna have Remand, but I don't think I want to interact with them on those bases. And I think Spell Pierce is a little bit trash in this matchup, so I'm not gonna bother. What about Blood Moon? I think that's kinda trashy too. Gutshot is very good for protecting Stormwing, so I'd like to keep that potentially. I kinda could see trimming the dragons because I don't think you need that many. Could double Q a double Masters draft. Double Masters, double Q. How can a free enchantment that doubles your mana be good in Modern? How can people making shit arguments exist in Modern? How can people in Modern be so obtuse when it comes to the concept of opportunity cost? Forgot to fetch. I want to keep the Gutshot for... that can be countered, but I want to keep the Gutshot for protecting entity. No Remand, lol. I have 2 creatures, but they might die, so I think I'll keep the Out, but not the Bolt. It's still an actual mystery how Lavarich keeps winning with Lightning Bolt as removal. Yeah. To me too. To me it's also a mystery. Or is it just an Uro? No, it's a Reclamation. You already have free growth to protect. God seems mediocre. Oh, but my opponent only has bolts as removal, so this is why. And also I want to have more ways to cast them, especially in the play. I'm gonna want more ways to cast Stormwing. Either Gast. Let's opt. No, because I think I'll want to redraw the Stormwing. Well, not Stormwing, Sprite. Maybe he has some misprint bolts that do 4. No. 12 life isn't nothing, but it's also not card material, so maybe my opponent will run out of stuff and won't have stuff. -1 card, Kekuve. I mean, I'm gonna spend a card to deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. Cast a light up now. How is that not a counter bounce? Opponent has no cards, so they don't have anything clearly. But certainly, it's weird they didn't Sanctuary back the Cryptic now. I'm always amazed that after 2019 and 2020, Cryptic Command still remains allegedly playable model. A lot of Cryptic Command's power is tied into Mystic Sanctuary nowadays. So there was a time where people were, you know, typing Kekuve Cryptic Command. How can you play it, etc. Although like people played it, but like some people shit talked it. Alright, Wither the Storm on top. There's no problems that you cannot solve with enough life gain. It's extra free life. I played a Soul Scar. Probably worth it. It's gonna be 15 now, so my opponent's gonna be at a pretty high life total, but with no cards. So they have to either draw well, and by draw well I mean draw a single Uro, or die to those over the course of some turns. On the rack is a blank, although it's free, so. My most desired draws are Monomorphosis, Opts, Light Up, Seasoned Pyro, which is not in my deck, and Steam Vents. I was joking, Steam Vents was actually not a desirable draw. Kekuve the Storm. That's just so true, friend. Alright, they drew a Breeding Pool and they had a blank in hand to begin with. So here they can't cast, seemingly, so they don't have anything. So they remained, they were trying to cast something. Oh, it's either guess. Okay, top. Slowly but surely we are getting there. I mean, of course, Uro top deck I die, but... Flame Slash. I mean, Uro facts, like we die to any of those. Field of the Dead? Field of the Dead we don't. They could have remanded Storm. They remanded the Soul Scar to draw this Wither the Storm, because they put it on top of their deck with Mystic Sanctuary. Hydrate Crisis should have had Flash. Stunner would have been so much better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I bring them to 10. Next one I have 3, 4, 5, 6 power. So I don't think it's super meaningful to cast that bolt right now. +1 counter on the Sprite Dragon. Be like +1 damage. I guess means that now the next bolt is not just straight up lethal. But bolt I can use to protect from... I mean, not really. Yeah, I guess anger, and they can have anger with a fetch. Plot twist is that flash in testing, but the fairy was legal, so it just didn't. Tap draw. Day 6 of saying, please help me escape this endless loop of saying hello, my favorite Magic the Gathering streamer and YouTuber, kanister _ Magic the Gathering. Speaking of escaping, Uro Tidal Nature's Wrath. That's it, that's the joke. Time to do action stuff. Force. Okay, forcing that. Glad to see that. I'll pay 3 then. Another force. Force is a card that made sense for them to have. Raz, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 plus 5, 16. If I get Cryptic with my opponent having 3 mana up. Another one, okay, so they do survive. I guess the press trigger. They could anger me and then I would be in a bad spot. But then I still keep the Sprite Dragon. Reading pool 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Alright, dodge Uro and 30 and 24 cards. It seems like consistent sources of damage are good against one-shot life gain spells. Hear me out, we not have Gruul Charm in the sideboard. I don't know what Gruul Charm does. Don't remember any of the modes of the cards. Your voice sounds different, Mr. Streamer. That's because I changed my voice overnight. I just said, I decided, you know what? I don't like my old voice, I'd rather get a new voice. Is it the mirror match? Deal free to all flyers, Gruul Charm, that's actually quite good. For 2 mana? Alright, I think we're not playing against Prowess Twitch yet. I don't think that's a Prowess mirror, unless my opponent has a pretty different idea of how to build a deck. Did you change your own voice because you had envy for your TTS voice changing? No. That was not the reason. Trespasser's Curse deck. Very well could be. Is Oath of Druids secretly legal in the format? Not to my knowledge. And I cast Bolt now. Maybe his voice changing was the result of possession by Cramp of the Big Five. Very well could be. Just like Seto Kaiba and everybody else in the group. I forgot that that part of the show has ever happened. My Sprite Dragon got changed into a Frog Lizard for a mere cost of 1 mana and 1 card. Then they made me a creature because seemingly it's beneficial for them for me to have a creature. What could be the reason? What could be the reason they do that? What are they planning? Intruder's Alarm. I don't know, I haven't played any creatures themselves. Carries less expertise, yeah, but they just deliberately made a creature that for me to have on the end step. So they had something in mind. Blasphemous Act. Seems pretty weird to support Blasphemous Act with Forbidden Orchard. Darkness. Okay. You did not see that coming because darkness is when you don't see stuff, because that's by definition. That is a damaging fog. Somebody said that in the Twitch chat, but I didn't really trust them. I was like, yeah, sure. For sure it's that. And then it actually was that. But like, what if I choose not to attack with the creatures? Okay. Well, it's a strategy, it's a dex strategy, I guess. How do I beat that? I guess I only have this spell pierces, and other than that I would rather be fast. I don't think I need the Seasoned Pyro and Arcade Mutagenic Grove. Dragonclaw to gain life? I don't know. I mean, if I'm willing to have a good try, I'm just going to win. Seriously, it's a curse. I lost this guy 2 days ago. Now I believe you. Blood Moon? It could be, but it could also suck. If they're using Fogs, then I guess maybe it's better to use Blood Moon than to use some extra Sprite Dragons. Straub is good. Straub against Fogs? I think I'd like you to rethink your position. How does opponent ever win against Tron? I mean, why are you assuming that that needs to be the case for them to win against Tron? Board out all creatures and just mill them. They'll still kill me with the Forbidden Orc cards. I'll mulligan because no monster. And I'll keep because this one has monsters. Inquisition 2, okay. Better question, how does your opponent ever lose? Well said. What is this deck's worst matchup? Esper Fogs. I think my point is Esper. Trespasser scarce. Okay. Oh yeah, red 2, we red 2. Could sack like Fiery Island now. It's more mana efficient, but also not really. Is it always Selsker on 1 over Swift Spear? Yeah. I could have led on, since I had a 1-lander with Light Up the Stage, I could have led on Swift Spear, because then if I don't draw a land in my first draw step, then I'd rather... I wanted to cycle the land. Damn. Spell Pierce is like not the best counter and they know about it, so... I'm not sure about that. Maybe I should Spell Pierce the second one. Alright, 2 lands, so... Oh, you gain 1 life too! I didn't... I thought I just lose this life. Well, that also makes it worse for me. It's really hard to defeat. Like, what do I do now? Because my opponent puts 2 tokens, gains 6. Yeah, I guess I'm just dead next turn. Because they make the tokens and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, not even enough. Time to play Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher wouldn't have help here. I guess I should have Spell Pierce one of those first Trespasser curses. I thought this doesn't do anything, but it clearly did. Kaneki, I'm thinking about getting into Modern Witcher Recon Grixis Fox or Hammer Time. I don't know, but both of those have an excellent matchup against... Oh, the curses also fall into the graveyard because the player has been removed from the game. I'm going to save this match in the next YouTube video that I'm going to upload. So, like, you know, we can be sure that it doesn't get forgotten. I'm gonna drop from the league and rejoin so I have a chance of playing against Dark Vonix once again.